Hello, and welcome back to From the Source podcast. This is episode 17, and when this podcast goes out, probably quite convenient with how nice the weather is. And part of the inspiration for today's conversation is around good weather, but it's around holidays and kind of your first destination run, if you will, the first time you think about doing a race or a high rocks abroad, and kind of how sometimes it can be a bit different to doing it over in the UK or kind of wherever you're from, where you're listening to, where you don't have to travel as far. So today I'm just going to be talking about kind of the training leading up to it and a bit of a taper beforehand, the travel and kind of like your race weekend, or usually on a weekend, like logistics, some things to maybe consider when you're packing your kit, and kind of what that race weekend feels like and a bit of what your mind might be going through leading up to it. So hopefully this kind of resonates for everyone that's going to be listening to this. If you're listening to a beer garden or something like that, probably where I'll be going not long after this. Yeah, we'll start off with like the training and tapering. So this is like, it's mainly beginner friendly or people that haven't really raced that often, and definitely probably not raced abroad. So obviously throughout your entire plan, you've built in your 10, 14, 16 week plan, whatever it is that you're training for, with being conscious of obviously the end goal is you then traveling abroad. So you want to build a simple plan, which is basically 10 to like 14 weeks if you're doing a 10K or so. Have a bit of a shorter training plan, maybe like around 8 weeks if you're doing a 5K. And then obviously a marathon, is anything up from like 16 weeks really. So within that, you've got maybe 3 to 4 runs a week, a few, short like strength sessions or like mobility and plyometric type sessions. And that'll build the basis of your work that you'll need to do obviously before you race. And gradually, like I always say, like gradually build each week via a percentage of like 10 to 20% from the additional week. So don't start ramping it up. Don't start thinking, well, I've got to run a marathon in 14 weeks, so I may as well just start running a marathon distance now. It doesn't work like that. Got to train your body, got to get your body used to running. So make sure you're keeping your easy runs easy, your hard runs obviously hard. Practice that, your dream run pace that you want to do, and be realistic as well. Don't turn around and say you want to start running a 3-minute K pace when you've never ran quicker than 5. It's a massive leap, and you will not be able to hold on for that, and especially not in such a short period of time. You need to be practicing and training more for that. So practice your race pace, practice your kind of your running style, like when are you going to be taking your gels? If it's a long one, how are you going to take them? Even just like little things about like how to get them out of your bag whilst you're running, so you don't have to stop. Practice like your toilet training. So, get your body used to taking these things. So on the day, it's not like, oh my God, I need a toilet because you've lathered loads of water in and stuff like that. So simulate as much of these race conditions as you can. Try and start your training on similar times to when when your race will be starting. That's kind of a big one. So you're not like it's a shock if you're a night runner. Most runs that people will be doing as a beginner will be starting early morning or definitely in the morning. So you get your body clock used to that, getting up and stuff like that. Any terrain that you run on, if it's like a trail or if it's just like a flat run around a city, there's no need to be doing the hill training. Hill training's obviously a bonus, but there's no need to add it into if you don't need it. Even down to like race conditions in terms of the weather. If you're running in the cold winter months, enjoy them warm summer months, because running in the cold is completely different. I prefer it, but some people don't. And yeah, it's what I mentioned before about like rehearsing the race day. So let the race day not be the first time you wear your running shoes, even like down to your socks, your shorts, everything. Just get used to that before you start, because the little bits that might niggle you and once you start, you're not really going to stop. You're fueling like your breakfast for the day. How you're going to fuel? Definitely fueling like a few days before, big carb dump and stuff like that. Get yourself used to it, but nothing like new on the race day, apart from the potential venue that you'll be doing it in. Yeah, so nothing new. The tapering side, you want to probably be doing it like a week, 2 weeks before, getting your body used to that drop off in volume. You don't want to be still ramping up when you're getting close to race day. So you kind of be reducing your volume, at least 30%, if not like half of what you have been doing. So keep the same day you train, but it's nowhere near as intense. So you're tapering off, allowing your body to recover, and then allowing that race day to just flood the race, and you're giving your best for it. So keep the intensity really low, like loads of little easy runs, get your sleep in, get the right food in, keep that like mobility, those mobility sessions high. Don't just completely like switch off completely before the race. It's hard, but you've been so used to training hard that trying to drop off for just even 2 weeks feels like, oh my God, I'm wasting away. But you're not. You're just getting your body ready for it. Even like before the race day, just like 10, 20 minute little easy jog before the race. Just get your body, warm, stretching, just something to keep you mobile. Because, obviously if you've been traveling abroad, stiffened up on a plane, stiffened up, sat in the hotel, different bed, loads and loads of different things, but try and keep your core things the same of what you used to. And then hopefully on the race day, it all clicks into gear. So travel and race day, you want to have planned before you go, where you're staying, how long it's going to take, everything else. Arrive early. Don't leave it so you're rushing. At least go the night before to know where things are. So you're prepared, you've got everything ready. Then get there early on the morning. Just get yourself used to like where things are going to be. Say if you're doing it in like Spain and stuff like that. Sometimes people don't want to be speaking English, or there'd be loads of different nationalities there. You don't really know where you're going. So preparing and knowing where the start or finish line is, where the fuel stations are and stuff like that plays a massive role. Obviously, booking your hotel that's near where you're going to be racing will help. You don't want to be traveling around everywhere. Try to find things. Probably goes without saying, but I know some people that have done it. Do your sightseeing and everything else after you've done the race. Don't be wandering around and walking 15, 20,000 steps a day and then wanting to do your race. Go do your race. Enjoy wherever you are. Make it a lot easier. Just take all the stress out. And, I've spoke on this, when Connor was previously here, about the high rocks and stuff. Just stay off your feet. You don't need to be wandering around. You've gone for one reason, and you can enjoy yourself after them, have as many beers as you want. Unless drinking the beer is part of your plan, which some people do, to be fair. Know where your start time, when your start time is, bag drop, water stations, any time cut-offs that you've got for the race, the map, kind of nail it all down. You don't want to be doing this on a day. So like 48 hours before, you want to have all this nailed down, sorting all your breakfast out. Like I said before, it's the same routine you've always had. Don't change it just because you're in a different country or you fancy a different coffee and I don't know, you want to go to a different cafe and stuff like that. Don't change your body will have adapted to whatever you're eating before this race. So, leave your posh espressos and your matchas and all that lot. And then, depends if you've gone with people and stuff. A thing is maybe share your location with people because you don't want to get lost and no one knows who you are. There are only like a few things. There's obviously extra things you can add on to that as well. But it's just about like not changing your routine and preparing before you go, because you can easily get carried away on that race day and try and take in all the sights and everything else. And that's the last thing you want to do. You spent 16 weeks potentially putting yourself through hell, and then you go and ruin it because you want to go see a cathedral or want to go to the beach and do all that. So enjoy yourself after you finish. Now, packing is a big one because, like I said, you want to be wearing the stuff prior to, the race. You don't want it to be your first time doing it. So get all your stuff sorted beforehand. If you're going on probably a city break, I've done it before. I've just packed like hand luggage and kept it close. Had a fear of like my suitcase getting lost, and I've literally got no stuff to run in. So shoes, socks, your race outfit, hat, gels, your running belt if you wear one, obviously your watch and your charger, make sure everything's charged. Maybe got your headphones in there and stuff. And, even if you are running in Spain, you don't know what the weather's going to be like completely. So even just take like a lightweight running jacket. But to me, that would actually annoy me. Sun cream if you can be arsed. Sunglasses, hat and gloves depending on where you're running. So you don't want to be packing a lot, obviously, your underwear, socks and stuff like that. But you don't want to be packing a lot and then basically just a pair of running shorts or swim shorts for the pool. The tough thing when I did High Rocks, obviously you can have your hand luggage and you've got all your gels. But the problem is you've the 100ml rule or whatever it is, so getting your gels. So I made sure I could buy the gels in a supermarket in Malaga. So I did that instead. But, you've got to consider that as well. You'll be able to get your tabs through customs, but your gels and like your electrolytes and stuff, you might have to get it when you're in there. So make sure, you're able to get all of that. Like I said, you've got your phone, your charger, and your ticket and stuff probably on an email. Headphones, if you're running in a warm country, maybe like Vaseline or anti-chafe stuff to help you, tape, blisters, safety pins, bib, belt, and stuff like that if they don't provide that. So these are all these are all the things you need to be finding out before. And then obviously you've got your change of clothes after the race. So depends what you like. Just chuck a pair of sliders on, pair of shorts. But when I did Malaga High Rocks, you whipped all your gear off because you wanted to get out of it because it was soaking wet. End up getting like rashes and stuff like that. Pack for the post run. And don't just focus solely on that pre-run and the run itself. Then, like I said, you've got obviously emails or your race confirmation and QR codes and stuff like that. ID's a big one. These foreign races, they ask for like ID for some reason. Don't know if they ask like the actual natives, but obviously if you're running for a different country, they ask you for ID. Any meds that you've got, maybe like a small first aid kit, or obviously, like I said, you've got the stations on the race and stuff that they might help have those things as well. There's quite a lot of little items for your race kit, and there's quite a lot of things that you can forget if you don't plan well. And especially if you're doing it in a different country, you kind of don't know where it is. There's no like Tesco Express on the corner and stuff like that. You don't want to be just buying like random stuff. Everyone's used to what they eat in the UK, and obviously Spain or Italy, everything's different abroad. So race day finally comes, and nerves that you do get, pre-race nerves, which is a weird one, even though you say you don't care about it and you don't want a good time, but you still get nervous, so you clearly do. So keep the routine that you've always had, that you've been training with, the same. So same breakfast if you can, same warm-up, same race clothing that you've planned in, same trainers, don't start changing anything. Just do what you want to do. And this is where when you do High Rocks or other races and a lot of people watching, it's so easy to be influenced by, well, he's got that on and I was going to wear that, so I might wear that, or, I might try this gel today, and the sponsor's giving out gels and everything else, and it just messes everything up. So keep everything the same, hydrate the same, so loads of sips of water, don't be chugging loads of water. You give yourself like indigestion, or you'll feel like you're running with like a really heavy belly. Add some like little bits of salt into your diet, which you should have planned for anyway. But if you're running in a warm country, add a bit more salts or electrolytes and stuff just to keep those levels high. Don't start eating like any greasy food and stuff like that. Obviously, I feel like I'm focusing on Spain, but you don't want to be eating loads of paella and nice chorizo type oily foods and tapas and stuff like that before. So avoid all that. Do more of your mobility when you're in there, like when you're in the country, rather than, like I said, thousands of steps or walking loads of miles and sightseeing. So you want, like, on the day, little light walk, like run jog, like 20, 30 minutes or so, little shake out, easy stretches, keep the body flowing, get some good sleep, which is a hard one because it's hit and miss how good your bed's going to be. When you're abroad, try and be as comfortable as possible. Take your Kindle if it takes you to sleep, and, try and, I thought about like saying, like, try and visualize how you want to do in the race, but does that mean that's more of a professional race, or should everyone be doing that, or is that just part of it? Think about how quick you want to run, how well you want to do. Think about all these things and like really focusing just for like one day. With 16 weeks of training, come down to this one day, and then think about the 3 for €10 pints and stuff like that afterwards. Enjoy the day. I feel like I've not focused on that at all, but enjoy the day. Very fortunate, very lucky to be able to race in a different country, let alone race at all. Enjoy the course. Loads of good memories to be made. Tell all your friends and family when you're home and stuff. Try and be as relaxed as possible. Don't be like so uptight. Don't get swallowed up with all the adrenaline that's going on and go off quicker than you wanted to. Stick to the plan. Then, once you've grown into the race, then pick it up if you want to have one last blowout. But just don't change things very often. Just keep things the same. And then, obviously, if it was me doing it, once you finish the race, straight to the beach for a few beers and enjoy the rest of your holiday. It's really simple, but I think when you do it for the first time, you get so wrapped up in, I'm doing a race abroad, this is great, and you turn it into more of a holiday and you forget why you're there, and it's a hard balance, but it's a fun one. Like I said, very fortunate to be able to race abroad. And the only thing I've got in my head here is like the sunny, nice runs, but there is like the mediocre cold runs and stuff like that people do, which people enjoy as well. So pick a destination and pick a race that you want to do. Extra motivation for you when you're training in the UK. You would have paid way more money than, racing abroad, racing in the UK, unless you're doing like London Marathon and stuff like that, which I can imagine is expensive. But enjoy your race, enjoy the destination, enjoy the holiday. If you're lucky enough to get like family and friends to come out as well, then that's even better. But that is my kind of whistle-stop tour about how you would plan like a bit of a running destination holiday race thing. If anyone's got any suggestions for anything I have missed, or if you want to comment about races you've done abroad and stuff, be really interested to know, what races you've done. But for me, race-wise, I've only done High Roxes abroad, and they were good. Everything, obviously, as we know, High Rox is the same no matter what, but obviously the heat was a big difference, and the amount you sweat in the UK doing a High Rox, it was tenfold in hotter countries. But yeah, that's my whistle-stop tour. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, comment. Everyone should know the drill by now. And I'll see you on the next one.